Now, looking at the title of this video, you probably thought, but wait, Justin slash Ruby slash Carbuncle slash whatever the fuck it is you want to be called today. This has been revealed for like an entire day so far. Why are you talking about it now? Well, point is, I was late, of course. I have been running around the entire city the entire day, and overall just didn't have time for this. I saw this as the moment it came out, but as it was 1 o'clock in the morning and I had an appointment at 6 in the morning, I had to get some sleep. So, I'm going to be talking about them all right now. First off, let's talk about the Alolan Pokemon. The Alolan Pokemon are both MEOWTH and Marowak, surprisingly enough. MEOWTH makes sense for them to choose. Marowak is kind of an odd choice. A choice I personally like, simply because I like Marowak so much, but overall, still an odd choice. MEOWTH makes sense due to its popularity because of the anime. Now, Alolan MEOWTH is a dark type, which is a pretty decent type, I suppose. It makes sense for a cat to be a dark type, but I mean, whatever, going with it. It says that the Alolan MEOWTH was created by breeding it by the Alolan family's richest people. I know what I'm saying, the words just aren't coming out of my mouth. Point is that it makes sense the direction they took with this, because a lot of people in real life actually do breed animals for specific reasons. I mean, just look at animals like, I don't know, pugs. People breed pugs simply because they're pugs. I mean, okay, cool, I guess. It's interesting to see that kind of make a transition into the Pokemon games itself, because it shows that it's kind of more relatable to the real world, I guess, because people are actually doing the same things there, whether they're questionable or not. The next one I'm going to talk about is the Alolan Marowak, which actually looks pretty good in my opinion. It's a simple transition, much simpler than the transition between the Ice-type Vulpix and Ninetales and the Ice-type Sandshrew and Sandslash, but overall, it's not too bad. It definitely looks a lot thinner than the original Marowak, and that actually doesn't affect how I think about its appearance at all. The fire on its bone meringue actually looks kind of cool, so I'm going to give it that. The only problem I have with that is the fact that the fire colors in the game are probably not going to change color. I mean, just look at Charizard X. There's blue flames coming out of its mouth and on its tail, but it still shoots red flames. I really hope they're fixing that this time around, but I really doubt it. Alright, so I don't think I mentioned the type yet. It is a Fire Ghost type. Now, a Fire Ghost type is interesting simply because I think the only one we've ever really had before that's even noteworthy is Chandelure. It's also good to see more Ghost types simply because of the fact that Ghost is probably, I think, one of the rarest types. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's accurate, but don't quote me on it. Alright, now, a Ghost type is actually very interesting for this Pokemon simply because it is a huge throwback to red, blue, green, and yellow. And I say this simply because the first Marowak you ever fought in the game was actually dead, due to it being the Cubone's mother that Team Rocket killed. So, I mean, that's actually a pretty good throwback. I mean, it's probably not a throwback. I mean, it could just be coincidence, but in my opinion, I'm taking it as throwback, and I'm taking it as nostalgia, and that's always a plus in my book, because you gotta ride the coattails of nostalgia all the way to the end of the franchise. Next up is this little Tynamo ripoff thing. Now, I say Tynamo ripoff thing, but personally, I don't hate its design. I do not like Tynamo's design or any of the things it evolves into, because, I mean, it was Unova. I don't like a lot of things out of Unova, but the few things I did like out of Unova, I will give them credit for. They did a good job. Now, anyway, at first, when I saw this, I thought that the big fish at the bottom was actually its second evolutionary stage. I would be wrong. Now, this Pokemon actually has a separate form. It has its original form and its school form. Now, it says here that its school form kind of makes it to where it becomes a bigger fish. Now, I'm wondering exactly how this form is going to work. I'm hoping that we see something about it soon. One way that this could work, in my opinion, is that it will become a bigger fish depending on the type of enemy it's facing. Like, let's say you're fighting a Pidgey. It might not get any change, simply because it's a tiny bird that doesn't matter to anyone or anything. But if you're fighting a Groudon, then it's going to be like, oh, wow, that's a big threat. Time to group up with everyone and become a big fish. You know what I mean? Kind of like the bigger the opponent, the more defensive it has to be, kind of thing. That would be kind of cool to see. I doubt that's it, but it would be, simply because fish in real life, actually, some schools of fish do that. They bundle up together to make themselves look bigger and more intimidating than other bigger fish and sharks and whales, I guess. I don't know. What eats fish again? Sharks? Yeah, going with sharks. Alright. So that's actually kind of cool in my opinion. Moving on to the next one, which is infinitely less cool in my opinion. It is a sandcastle. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to be saying the names of these Pokemon simply because the English ones are not revealed yet. I'm just calling them the sandcastle, the fish, and the other tiny bear. So I'm just going with that. Alright, anyway, the next one we have is a sandcastle. It is a ghost ground type, and as interesting as of a type as that is, this Pokemon really doesn't look that appealing to me. Simply because it is a sandcastle. That's... No. No. A chandelier? Yes. Alright, that's an interesting concept. A sandcastle? No. The ice cream cone was more imaginative than this. I don't know. Anyway, my point is that this Pokemon does not interest me at all. Its type is interesting, I guess, but that's all it's got going for it. It says here Sanaba is a grudge that dwells inside a pile of sand and turns into a Pokemon. It's apparently a truly terrifying creature. Shirodesuna, I'm saying their names, and I know I said I wouldn't, but I'm just going with it because that's what I'm reading off the page. Shirodesuna steals the life force from other Pokemon. Those Pokemon grudges become a new Sanaba. Now, this is about par for the course of Pokemon nowadays. All their ghost types have some sort of eerie meaning. I mean, Phantup is dead children. Yamask is a dead person who looks at its face and cries. So, I mean, it's about par for the course to make the ghost-type Pokemon have some sort of dramatic backstory. So overall, that doesn't really bother me in any way. I know that may bother some people though, simply because they're like, oh my god, it's too dark for Pokemon, but whatever. Point is, I'm talking, and I should probably move on now. Now, Beware got its first form, and I personally just don't like it. It is a tiny bear that apparently hates to be held, and everybody wants to meet it. Which is kind of ironic, considering the fact that all Beware wants is to hug people, and people are afraid of it because when it hugs them, it will literally snap them in half. So, I mean, I guess that's kind of ironic. I'm just going to go with irony here. Next up, we have the Evil Team, and if their name couldn't get more generic enough, then I don't know what could. Their name is Team Skull. Skull. Seriously, Skull. I don't know. I mean, we had teams like Plasma, Magma, Aqua, Rocket, Skull. Oh my god, I don't know. Anyway, they don't look too bad. They look like they could be biker thugs, I guess. That's really the only vibe I'm getting from them. They kind of remind me of the punks from Lumio City. But, the guy at the top definitely looks like the leader of the team in my opinion. The chick at the side, probably a team admin, while the bottom two people are probably the generic grunts of the entire team. So, I mean, overall, they don't look too bad. The main guy actually looks kind of cool. I'll give him some credit for his clothing choices. His hair, though, and his glasses need to change, though. The chick, a little too much makeup in my opinion, but alright. Overall, there really isn't too much to say about them. They're just kind of there at the moment, simply because we don't know what their purpose is yet. They're literally just faces on a page right now. So, until I figure out exactly what it is they want, I can't actually judge them as a team, because if they have the name Team Skull, but if they want something that's, I don't know, as ambitious as Team Magma or Team Aqua or even Team Plasma, then I could learn to respect them. But overall, not really. I'm just going to have to give them a pass on this. The final bit of information is that Rockruff will be getting its new evolutionary information next time. And they said specifically on Cerebee's page it's a special evolution of some sort. Now, there have been a lot of rumors revolving around Rockruff, not a lot, mainly just two, about what it could evolve into and how it could evolve. Some of the rumors report that Rockruff will evolve into a werewolf-type Pokemon. Looking Pokemon, I should say, not type. That's not a type. Alright, anyway, which I actually find kind of cool simply because werewolves are probably the most badass fantasy creature in all of existence. But they could either do that really right or really wrong, and that's just gonna bother me thinking about until next month it gets revealed or whatever. Assuming that's the direction they take, as I said, just a rumor. Another rumor is that it will have 4 separate evolutions, presumably one per island, which we've actually seen with Oricorio already, so maybe that could be a thing. I don't know, it says something about a rock fighting, rock fairy, rock dark, I don't know, stuff like that. And the point is that we're going to be seeing a lot on Rockruff next month. Probably going to be what the entire magazine is dedicated to, so I'm kind of looking forward to it. Rockruff is a pretty interesting Pokemon. We don't have too many really good dogs, in my opinion. I mean, Arcanine is cool. Lucario's there. He is my favorite Pokemon, so there's that. I don't really like Houndoom, actually. Never really thought about it before. Anyway, now, one thing that's interesting about Rockruff's evolutionary line is that it said Special Evolution. Now, if you remember a couple magazines back, in the Core magazine, it said that the starters and Rockruff would have a special thing, secret of some sort. And that is interesting simply because they use the word secret here. I've been saying special, but I'm pretty sure they use the word secret. I'm just talking to my computer at this moment. However, if Rockruff does have what it's rumored to have, which is an evolutionary line that branches out, and the rumors revolving around the starters having a branched evolution actually holds some truth, maybe that's the secret they were talking about a long time ago. At first, I thought it could have been the Z-Power bracelets, but the latest trailer said that it had a Z-Power for every type. So, I'm assuming that every Pokemon can use Z-Power mode. But overall, that's about all there really is to talk about. We'll be getting more information on the 12th of August, and that's in 3 days. Wow, 3 days. So, I'm hoping that we get to see, maybe learn a little bit more about Team Skull's ambitions, maybe get to see the Alolan MEOWTH and Marowak in game, maybe get to figure out exactly what it is that fish does, and just everything like that. Anyway, if you like this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this video or videos on my channel, and I will see you next time.